Welcome back to Thinking a New Thought, the podcast. This is episode 2. And on today's podcast episode, we are having a conversation about LGBT representation being safe for all ages, including Disney movies. Now, this was going to ruffle some feathers, and we expected it to, of course. And the conversation, the most frustrating part as you listen to it, is the fact that the person doesn't have any real standing as to why they're against what they're against. And this happens a lot with our conversations. Many times people are against things because that's just what they've been told or just what they grew up hearing, and they don't have a real standing of like, why do I feel this way? What happens is they end up defending, and then like they say both sides, right? So it's like, I'm not against it, but it's wrong. Or it's okay, but I just don't agree. Like they don't know how to stand on one side of the aisle because their beliefs are not concrete. So take a listen to this episode and make sure you stay to the end. In true Juan form, and I make myself crack up every time things like this happen, but in true Juan form, what happened is the next guest that came on a couple days later with the same topic said something about, well, what would be the harm if in a trailer to a movie there was, LGBT visuals? And I just went off on a tangent and I could not stop laughing. So I hope you laugh with me at the end of this conversation. And if you're liking this so far, please like the video, comment on the videos, subscribe to the channel, and share it out so more people come around. And I'll see you on the next one. Welcome in. What are you saying? That
Okay,
people who
so
are young
first,
can't see LGBT representation?
so I'm not saying that LGBTQ is like not safe for children or like they don't need to learn about it. I just feel like at a certain age, they shouldn't hear about stuff like that because, like, in their mind, they should be worried about school and toys and stuff like that, not
Yeah,
like,
sure. Like, do you think it's okay to show kids at any age a Disney movie?
well, it would just depend on the Disney movie.
Well, I mean,
Like,
like whatever, would pick one. I mean, whatever which one do you think is safe? Do you think that we can show, Snow White or Little Mermaid or whatever to
honestly, Snow White, no, because I mean,
so pick
that's
one. Tell me which movie you think is safe for children.
honestly, the movies that I think are safe for children are the ones where they tell you like about life, not focusing on
So
love.
like
So
pick
like
one. Tell me one.
Coco, there's the Book of Life.
Right. Okay, so Coco. Is there a mom and a dad in Coco? Is there a
Well,
grandma and a
yeah.
grandpa in Coco?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So in that same movie, there could be two husbands that are skeletons. It's the
Right.
same thing.
No, I know. I'm not saying that they don't need to learn about it in general. I'm just saying at a certain age that that's not what should be in their head.
Yeah, so but you said Coco was fine for them. So what I'm
No,
trying to
yeah.
explain to you is
Once
if it's whatever is fine for a kid to learn, because what we're talking about is comprehensive education. So education changes depending on their age, right? We're not talking about teaching anything that's sexualized to a kindergartner, but if we can teach a kindergartner about a mommy and a daddy, we can also teach them that some kids have two mommies or two daddies. So what?
right. And I'm not saying it's
It's
ridiculous.
because you don't hear yourself. You have not
No,
fully
you guys
stood
don't
on.
hear yourselves.
Okay, Piper.
You're
Okay,
literally
Piper.
relating
Piper.
LGBTQ
Piper.
with children. Like
Yes,
that's
because I was a gay child, so it's okay. Nobody explodes because they hear about the gays. There's no harm to the children, and you keep
no one's talking
pretending.
about the gays. I'm talking about you putting kids and gays in the same sentence. They're
What?
kids. They're five
Yeah,
and 6 years old. They don't need to
yeah.
be
And I knew that I
asking
had.
questions or anything about it.
So what do we do when they ask questions? You say, not telling you, not old enough.
Basically,
What
yeah. Just
happens
like how
when they,
you
so
don't talk to them about sex till they're a certain age. You
well,
don't tell
yeah,
them about
sex.
Santa Claus or anything like that until a certain
You don't
age.
tell them about
There's a
Santa
lot of
Claus
things
to a
you
certain age.
don't.
Piper, you're so disingenuous. You don't tell them about Santa Claus. We tell babies about Santa Claus. What the hell are you talking about?
You literally tell them that Santa Claus is someone who brings you gifts until they are old enough to believe.
Piper, before you go on, that's who Santa Claus is. Don't know what you're talking about. So, what I want to make clear here is there are people who have two mommies, like Bailey. She and her wife have a baby. So, her baby knows all about gay women because he lives in their home. Should they lie and say they're just friends to the baby?
I mean, it's a baby, so yeah.
You should
No.
lie? So you agree with lying to children?
I mean, y'all lie and say Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny is real and all that, and they're not.
Santa Claus is real. Don't know what you're talking about. Please move past that point. You think lying to children is good, but you think telling him, like, we're your mommies, which they are, is wrong? That's
I'm not
terrible.
saying you lie to them. I'm saying you filter it until they are a certain
There's no
age.
filtering it. Bailey and her wife are the mommies of her baby. That's his
Okay,
mommies.
but they are kids. They shouldn't
Right.
be worried about
Does the
sex or
kid
anything of
does the
that.
nobody's talking about sex. Stop saying that. Is it okay for the kid to see mommy and mommy kiss?
No, I don't think it's okay to show any of that in front of
But
kids.
you're okay with
Wow.
Coco where mommies and daddies kiss. This is why you're a hypocrite. This is why I keep calling you out. You're not staying on 10 toes down on your
I'm not
point.
saying it's okay for them to see them kissing in the movie. What I'm
But they
saying is that
do. But they
Coco
do
has
see
a
it,
way
and
bigger storyline than two people kissing in the movie.
right, which I agree with. But let's also put gay people kissing because all people kissing is fine for kids. It doesn't matter.
May I say something?
Yes,
Hi,
ma'am.
Piper. I have a wife. We have a 3-year-old son. We're trying for another baby, and he's 3. And I would say probably around 2, he knows. He sees that he has 2 moms, right? He goes to school. We have a book that we've been reading to him since the day he was born that talks about the perfect family. And it has a family of 2 dads, a family of 2 moms, different races. It doesn't matter. And yes, my wife and I are affectionate around him. And it's the cutest thing because when we are hugging or loving on each other, he runs up and puts both of his hands around us because I'm proud that he's being brought up in a family where his parents love each other. There's no fighting, there's no yelling, there's no screaming. We have a beautiful environment for my son. There's nothing wrong. What's offensive is if it sounds like, and people bring up sex, that has nothing to do with it, right?
Correct.
That has
It's just
nothing to do
love.
with it. We're not indoctrinating my child. Most likely, my child is going to be straight. That's statistically what's going to happen. He's not more likely to be gay, but he is going to be a man that women are not afraid of. He's not going to be a man that women choose the bear over. He's a caring, accepting, beautiful little boy who thinks that all families just come in all different looks. And that's what we should be doing nowadays, is giving these kids the representation of how the world really is, because that's how the world is. Does
So
that make
now,
sense?
Piper,
And
tell Bailey how what she's doing is wrong because according to your stance, tell her she's wrong for showing her kid that her and her wife love each other and that they're great mommies together.
saying LGBTQ is wrong. I'm not saying any of that. And when I say sex, I don't mean like the actual like thing. I mean like female or male. I don't mean like that. So that's not you guys are taking me saying sex as like the actual thing. But what I'm saying is that I just don't think kids that age should be learning about any of that. If they see you kiss and he comes and hugs you, that's great. I'm honestly happy that he's growing up with 2 loving parents. I'm not saying it's wrong for them to see it. I don't think that they at their age they should be seeing stuff
So
like
do
that.
you see how what you're saying is called double speaking? I'm not saying it's wrong, but they shouldn't see it. I'm not saying Coco can't have people kissing, just not the gays kissing. I don't agree with lying, but you should lie. Everything you're saying, you talk both sides of the argument. And this is why I keep saying to you, you don't hear yourself, and then you get defensive and you're like, you don't hear yourself. But you're not like hearing that you're talking on both sides of your mouth. And you have to pick a stance. It's either okay or it's not okay. It's either safe or not safe. And so if
At
it's
a
not
certain
safe,
age,
no, at all ages. Her child is 3 and he knows that he has 2 mommies that love each other.
no,
Is
I
that
know.
okay? Are you okay
No,
with that? Yes or no at 3?
yes, I've already no, I'm not okay with him knowing it at 3, but
Okay, but
that's
he
I
does. So are you telling her she's a bad parent? Because that's what you're saying.
no, that's not what I'm saying
Well, it
at
is. You're
all.
saying it's not
But
right.
he's going to know, is my point. Eventually, the kids go to
Yeah,
school and they
eventually
learn.
he's gonna know, but
He
Kids
he's
are
knows right
not
now.
stupid.
He
He
knows right
knows he has 2
now.
moms. He already knows.
He knows right now at 3.
Yeah.
No, we get it. You're conflicted. You don't want to be rude, but you don't agree with it, and that's at the end of the day what we're hearing. Because you're telling her he shouldn't know, but he does know. Oh, that's fine. But it's not fine because you said he shouldn't know.
my whole
What
thing
is your
with it.
concern? What do you think? What do you think is going to happen to the child? Like, what's the danger?
It's just some kids have been put in situations where like they're taught something is okay when it's really not okay. And I'm not saying that people
We're
are
just
going to
talking
do
about
that.
love, so everything we're talking about is okay. So what is the danger? What is the risk?
For the child to encounter someone who is trying to teach them that something is okay when really that's not their
Is
intention.
being gay okay?
Yes,
So then
that's
we're
okay,
not
but that's
talking
not what
about
I'm
whatever you're
saying.
talking about. I'm asking you, what is the harm or risk in a child knowing that LGBT love is okay? What's the harm or the risk?
I've said multiple times that there's no harm
So then you're
in
okay
any
with
of
it.
it.
We'll put it in the Disney movies and you're okay with it. This is what I'm saying. If there's no harm, then you agree. It's safe. That's what my point is. I mean, that's literally the
Okay,
definition of no harm. If there's no
I
harm, then it is safe.
I think okay. It is safe for them. I just don't think it's right. That was my
What
whole
makes it
argument.
wrong?
They're so young. They don't need to be knowing about it.
They
What makes it
know.
wrong? They
That's
already
what I don't
know.
understand. My son knows he has 2 moms. He knows.
So it's
He
not
knows.
unsafe. It's now we're changing the word to it's wrong. So why is it wrong? Is it right to be
I've
straight?
said this entire life that I don't have a problem with them knowing about LGBTQ.
But you're
I
saying
just
it's
don't think
wrong.
that they should know about it at their age.
But
That is all
why?
I'm
Is the
saying.
question we're asking is why, if there's no harm to them, why?
Because they are kids. They need to
Sure.
be worried about toys and
They
They
school,
are.
whether or
They
not
are.
they're getting A's and B's. They don't
He
need to be worrying about.
We're not
Well,
asking them
that's
to worry
exactly
about
why we
it.
do it now, because he doesn't care. He has 2 moms. Next topic. Like, it's
Yeah, like
crazy to me that
it's not.
these
Okay,
kids
well, I'm
have
explaining
less.
my opinions and he's keeping me on the live. Like, he could easily just move on. I'm continually explaining it to you guys, and you're like, okay, next
It's because
topic.
you
No,
don't
because
make
you're
But you're
sense,
changing the
keeping me on
words.
here.
Piper. When we said next topic, we were talking about her child, that he doesn't harp on it, that
Yeah.
he is okay. Like when my kid's 3-year-old said to me, Juan, do you and this person, my husband, live together? And I looked at her mom, and her mom goes, yeah, baby, remember I told you, like, Juan loves his husband the way I love daddy. And she said, that's okay. Some boys love boys and some girls love girls. And my mommy
Mhm.
loves daddy. It's all love. That's what the 3-year-old said. And then we went back to eating
And
our
then they
pizza.
move on. Yeah, they move on.
It's
They're the
not
most amazing accepting
dangerous.
generation. They
I'm
don't
not
care.
saying it's
You know
dangerous.
what's dangerous? To not teach them. And to
Mhm.
teach them that it's wrong and to hide it from them. Because then when they
Mhm.
encounter it, they reject it and they
I'm not
bully it.
saying you shouldn't teach them. I'm just saying at a certain age, they don't need to know. Like,
They do.
they don't,
They
though.
do. It's
4
called
and 5
education.
year olds
Yep.
don't. Okay,
They
but
do.
they're 4 and
They
5.
do. They know. Yep, because
They
Bailey
don't need to know.
Bailey's a
So
lesbian.
may
Her
let me
kid
ask.
knows.
Yeah, but what about a straight parent and a mother and a father? Are you also saying they shouldn't kiss? They shouldn't have pictures of their wedding on the wall? Are you like that all the way around then?
I'm not saying you shouldn't have any pictures or anything up like that. I'm just saying
So they
if they
shouldn't be
go to ask a question, you don't need to
When
you
they say,
don't need to
does
have the
mommy love
conversation
mommy?
with them
You
at
go,
such
we
a
can't
young
talk about
age.
this?
You can filter some of the stuff you're telling them.
How
Filter
can I
what
ask? How
stuff?
would you filter it? How would I filter that when my son came to me?
Well, just
What would
like
I
how he
say?
said, the question he just said, does mommy love mommy? Obviously, you could be like, yes, mommy does love mommy, but you don't need to go into the reasons and everything like that
Bailey,
until they are at the age.
It's 2
Bailey,
mommies.
I think the problem here is that Piper doesn't hear herself. We never are advocating for being inappropriate around children. To the
No.
people who are like, no, nothing's wrong with it. I love you guys.
Mhm.
But also, I love you guys, but also like, no. There's nothing wrong with you, but like, no.
I always say they're
And
giving
then
me a hug
now,
with a knife. They're
and
giving
then
me a
now,
hug, stabbing
right,
me in the back while they hug me.
right.
Let's say in the trailer they do something daring, like in the trailer they have 2 little boys kissing.
I
The
think they should
second
leave it out and let them all go to the theater and be like, BAM! In their face.
they probably would, but if they
A
were
story about a strong man who's a warrior. And then when he goes into the woods and finds his love interest who's a little fairy, nobody will see it coming and just boom! Stay Disney, everybody.
that would be crazy. That would be crazy.
I love it. I hope they do it. I hope they hear this. Somebody get this clip to them.
the problem with that is word of mouth is a thing. The
Oh
second
man.
that first screening comes out, that's gonna be on the tabloids. That's gonna be all
Opening
over the
weekend,
news.
all moms are just buying their pixie wigs, talking to the managers. They're pissed.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. I understand. I
And
understand.
it sucks. I wouldn't want to, and this is for protection of all LGBT people
Yeah.
because we know how the way the world is right now. And I would hate because of that movie. Now for the next 2 months, that's the talking point on the community, and y'all are getting trashed.
So here's the thing, though. I hear you, Tony, but the marginalized communities don't get quiet to avoid the bullying. They're already getting the trash. So
Right.
we could speak about any marginalized community, and it's all the same thing. We don't tell people or ask for people. I'm not saying you are, but we don't say, shh, that's safety. If you talk, if you produce, if we make that, you're gonna be in danger. We can't do that. We can't do that. We have to be louder because that's
Mm.
how rights change. That's how equality is reached. And this is again all marginalized. The women's movement came forward. Black Lives Matter came forward. LGBT
Mm.
rights came forward. We have to stand up. We have to speak because they're already against us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the world we're in right now.
Yeah.
I hope that made you laugh, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I do want to make sure one thing was explicitly clear throughout that conversation. Never, ever, ever would me or anybody I know ever advocate for children to be exposed to anything that was not child appropriate. I understand the conversation goes here, there, and everywhere, and I hope the concern is for the child. What we know is that where there are schools that have included comprehensive education, including LGBT subject matter K through 12, there is less bullying. There is less self-harm. There is less harm from one to the other. We know this statistically that there is a benefit to this. We don't see, however, any benefit to not showing this information to our kids. So yes, we should be age appropriate. And that's why I bring up Disney as an example. I just wanted to make sure that was clear. Let's take care of our kids by making them be kinder to one another. And just one more thing. I grew up in a world with no cell phone, no social media, no computer. So I was not exposed to LGBT things. Yet I still knew that I was LGBT. I still knew that I wasn't like the other guys. And the other guys knew that I wasn't like them. They know. They're going to know. You cannot hide this from them in order to shield and protect them. All that it's going to do is increase their shame, increase their guilt, and increase their ability to be themselves. They will suppress who they are, and they will hide it from you as a parent because they know that they're not safe. Let's teach kids that there's different forms of love out there, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then they will grow up into young adults and adults who are kinder, more compassionate, more empathetic, and treat one another with love. And that's what we're trying to influence in this world. More love, more kindness, less hatred and bigotry.